Well, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the first day of autumn. It's the last, it's the 28th of August, 29th of August, but, which is payday, because the 30th and the 31st are a Saturday and a Sunday. So, never mind, we've got enough money in the bank to do the payments, that's great, considering we took 2 weeks off in the middle of August, so that's good. What else is going on? Oh, I've had we do this system of getting patients to pay 2 working days in advance. So, of course, appointment for Monday, next Monday, should have been settled by 5 p.m. yesterday, Thursday. And 2 patients haven't paid. One was a lady who cancelled her appointment, and that let us know and everything, and said she'd get in touch. Usually, when people say they'll get in touch, it's not because their schedules are so busy that they, when I go down the doctor and say I'll be in touch, that's because my schedule's really dealt with by my receptionist, and so excuse me. So I do have to say that I'm sorry, I don't know when I can come in. Someone will be in touch. But when patients say they're going to be in touch, basically what they mean is that they haven't got the money, so they'll get in touch when they've got the money. So the other one was set of parents we've got 2 girls, and they came in about a year ago, and one of them was under 11, just for a checkup, and the other one was 14, I think, and she was in a bit of a state, to be honest. I mean, she had a lot of teeth that needed filling, and it was either a case of take her on a sort of pro bono basis, or send her off to the community, or tell her to find an NHS dentist or something. And I felt so sorry for her, really, because she had other issues. Temporarily, she had weight issues and stuff like that. Then we decided to take her on a pro bono basis. And the parents now they would come round to another 6 months, they're coming in for a checkup. And so the elder girl was still seeing on a pro bono basis, but the younger daughter, who's also now got decay, we're not. And the parents are, I wouldn't say aggravated, but I think that they would greatly prefer it if I would just say, yes, I'll see the 2 of them free of charge. Obviously, I mean, I'd be very grateful if I could find a builder who would build an extension for me free of charge. We always love people who say that they'll do stuff for us free of charge. But to be honest, we don't have that many pro bono patients. I would say probably 1 a year. And, the fact that this girl is going to grow up with some teeth and not with partial dentures, which is where she was going, I think is a big enough contribution by us to the general welfare of the population that is taxed by the state for the provision of benefits which they then can't obtain. People say to me, well, why don't you work on the NHS? And my answer is I would. If you gave me all the national insurance money, I would work on the NHS. But would I work on the NHS at a loss and allow you to piss the national insurance money up the wall? No, I would not. So anyway, I've said that I'm happy to start work on the younger child, but she's only barely emotionally mature enough to have a filling done, and I've quoted them the least I can possibly quote, which is 93. Before you have a fit and say, like, how can you charge a child £93? I am a private dentist. Okay? My sector of the market is not children that should be looked after by the NHS. That is what they're collecting all the NHS money for, to look after all the children who are their responsibility. So I don't have, and I'll take my cue from this Kevin Lewis, who's a columnist in magazine did he write for? Dentistry or something? I forget. Anyway, he did a lot of lecturing when I was younger. And he said a ton of stuff that made sense. And one of the things he said was that you shouldn't charge children less for their fillings. You should charge them more. They take longer, they make more of a fuss, they're more difficult, they require more stages, more explanation, more patience. And what we do is we, like the idiots we are, try and charge them half or less or the cheapest fee we can. I suppose when we do that, we realise that we're doing it on a sort of because they're a loss. They're a loss. You see what I mean? We do know that we're going to be treating children at a loss. But it comes to a bit, it's a bit, I think, rich when the parents come in and insist that their children are being treated at a loss. Anyway, they didn't pay, they didn't settle their invoice, so we've cancelled the Tuesday appointment. And again, that's, do I not bleed? I don't want to cancel a child's appointment, especially when it's a young child and they've already got decay and they've family history of problems. I think the parents are separated. One day the mum brings them, the next day the dad brings them. But having gone over all this with the, about the diet, sugar-free diet and everything with the older daughter, to find the younger daughter turn up with a load of decay is very disappointing. It really just tells me that these parents are not prepared to give or do anything themselves, make any personal sacrifices or take any notice. They want me to do everything, including treating their children free of charge privately. So, that's why I'm not too emotional about the fact that this child's... And they may well ring today and say, sorry, it was an oversight, and pay the invoice, and they'll just get the appointment back. I mean, that's how it works. There's nothing that focuses people's attention on paying their bills more than the service that they need being cancelled. And it's the same, isn't it? I mean, supposing, if you booked a holiday and you pay, well, you don't even pay a deposit, but you agree to pay a certain amount by a certain time, and you don't pay it, and the next thing you do is get an email saying the holiday's been cancelled. I mean, of course it has. Well, duh. And so, while people would say, well, fair enough, I didn't pay for it, so I can see why they've decided to cancel it. With dental treatment, people treat it as though, you're a slave, and they're entitled to have free healthcare. And this comes from, there is an expectation. I've always said that the public have got a variety of vastly overextended expectations in terms of what they're entitled to. So much, they're entitled to not just liberty, equality and fraternity, or the American one is life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. That's basically what you're entitled to, your life, your liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Are you entitled to basic state income? No. Are you entitled to a state house? No. Are you entitled to state healthcare? No. Because your entitlement, your so-called entitlement, which doesn't exist, but which you try and convince everybody that does exist, has to be paid for by someone else. If it's not paid for by you, it's paid for by someone else. And if the state is not paying for quality dental care, then it has to be paid for by the dentists, or by, benevolent. In the past, it was done through benefactors, wasn't it, who set up charitable foundations to carry out various activities. And you could say that a private dentist who's doing some pro bono work by, reducing his profits or her profits and taking the money out of the general fee pool is acting as a charitable foundation in that extent. But but as a trustee of the charity, I do have the right to say who's a deserving case and who isn't. So the other one, this woman who cancelled her appointment because she couldn't afford it, well, we just forgot to cancel the invoice. So when the invoice came up as not having been paid, it turned out that the appointment had been cancelled anyway. So we had another guy who rang up in a high dudgeon because his appointment had been cancelled and wanted to know why he'd got all these emails saying his appointment had been cancelled. He'd seen the appointment saying his email had been cancelled, but he'd ignored 10 emails with the invoice saying if the invoice wasn't paid by such and such a date, the appointment will be cancelled. So, what can you do with these people? He rang up and was very rude to the receptionist. She was trying to explain to them if he paid over the phone, she could reinstate his appointment. But he was more concerned with his own indignation, wanted to know why his appointment had been cancelled. And you can't really say, because you are the sort of person that is disorganised, run your life in efficiency, and don't delete your emails without reading them because you think that can be done. The way to handle it, I think, is the nurses always complain that the patients are civil to the dentist when they get handed through to the dentist. They're all of a sudden someone who thinks that they can get angry with a receptionist will all of a sudden get extremely civil with the dentist. But all I do is I explain to them that the cancellation is entirely automatic. That if they don't pay their invoice, their appointment is cancelled. The big problem. Dentistry is mostly wage payroll expense. You know what I mean? That is the big expense. And so we try and really pare down the administration. So if we can get a system that cancels appointments automatically when invoices are paid, then I want it. And all sorts of other administrative things. That's why people say, can you give me your bank account details? I'll pay the money straight into your bank. And I say no, because we haven't got the manpower to keep checking the bank account to make sure that when you say you've paid it, it has actually arrived. So, but this is all day to day. So you get this crap as well. I know you do. So I won't bore you, but I've got a radioactive clock. It's a radio clock. It's going to go up in the lab because the nurses, when they're doing the technical work, they need to time the plaster setting and stuff like that. So they wanted a clock in the lab. So I thought it's quite a little thing. Didn't cost much, and it's been done in 48 hours. So right, it's Friday. It's not 5 to 5 yet, but I'm off. I'll talk to you later. Bye.